That's what Japanese think. They tell you, this is what the game is about and this is what you do. So you actually have to go out and buy it and play it to see what it's like.
Apparently, that's what Chinese people do as well. Because
Really?
Icy just came out. It's a 2D character action game. And the gameplay is really solid. And it's not a rip-off of anything. It's like just a straight up... It's a legitimate release from China. And it's a secret meta game. Because it tells you it's a secret meta game in the Steam description. So, yeah.
All right, that might be worthy of a...
However, it does look really cool. I'd love to play it with Matt in the house, just because China, it's Asia. And it's about, like, either following authority or defying it. And I'm like, ooh, that's risky.
Yeah, that is.
I want to see where this goes.
I don't know if you know about it, but there's like a MOBA that's really popular in China.
Know about it.
But it's just like, because licensing laws in China are so loose, it's got like, Shrek and shit in it.
They're not loose, they just always side with China.
Yeah. Like the iPhone shit.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Thanks, China.
Yeah, whatever.
They read the fucking manual.
Copyright and stuff like that hasn't been around for all that long.
Yeah, it's fairly recent.
Yeah.
Doesn't even really exist in Russia.
And yeah, again, they're kind of like, white China.
Russians
Big
aren't white.
Communists.
It's Slavs. Don't call Slavs white.
They're white. Oh, look! There's a big difference between Western Europeans and Eastern Europeans, but they're all white.
All right.
Mediterraneans kind of. I mean, if you ask social justice warriors, they're white because it's easier for them.
It's easier to get away with saying they did shit things if they're white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though they've always been off-white. I was watching Larry Wilmore's show for the few months I watched it. And they had a guest on who's a comedian, but he's a New York comedian, Italian American guy. And he's like, hey, you're white. What do you think about this? He's like, I'm white? I always thought I was Italian. He's like, fuck you. Just lumping us all together, you piece of shit. I've been a spick dago whoop for my entire life, and now I'm white because it's more convenient to shit on.
Pretty much.
Fuck you. He didn't say that, but you could tell just by his tone.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a while. Mediterraneans, they're like off-white.
White when it's convenient.
Why is it always...
Not for them, though.
Yeah. Just if it's more convenient for white people to shit on them, they're not white. And when it's more convenient for not whites to shit on them, they are white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Internet.
Look, they both had, they all had empires and they all shit them away. Fuck them.
All right.
Welcome to the CBAW podcast. It's Monday morning, which means it's time for the top 5 news. Here's Kyle.
Don't ever do that voice in front of me again. Holy shit.
I just wanted to see what it sounded, if I could do it. I'm surprised. I am
quite surprised. That was quite well done, but don't do it again. Don't you ever say those words to me. All right. So, starting off...
All right, Kyle.
Fuck. All right. So, starting off, Cynthia Prior's failed 18C case ordered to pay the legal costs of the accused. So, the Indigenous woman at the center of the failed racial discrimination case has been ordered to pay the legal costs of the 3 QUT students she tried to sue under Section 18C of the Racial Discrimination Act. Ms. Prior sought $250,000 in damages from the 3 students over Facebook comments they made after she ejected them from an Indigenous-only computer lab in 2013. The comments include QUT fighting segregation with segregation and ITT N-word.
Just say it.
No.
No, they quote ITT nigger N quote.
There we go. Though the latter statement has been vehemently denied by one of the trio. The case was rejected early.
Just one?
Just one. The one that was accused of saying it.
Okay.
So the case was rejected early last month by a federal judge, who ruled the case had no reasonable prospect of success. Coalition MPs, including Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, have been arguing for the removal of the words offend and insult from the Act. So Section 18C states, it is unlawful for a person to do an act otherwise than in private if the act is reasonably likely in all the circumstances to offend, insult, humiliate, or intimidate another person or a group of people, and the act is done because of the race, color, or national or ethnic origin of the other person, or of some or all of the people in the group.
Okay, so my first note is, apparently in the law, you're allowed to be a racist, bigoted piece of shit in private.
Yeah, in private, it's fine. There. Yeah.
And I've got in all caps, exclamation point, cool. I mean, I'm not saying, being that way is shitty and you're a piece of shit, but...
As long as you keep your shitty beliefs private, then it's fine. Yeah, don't care about it.
It's right there.
Yeah.
So Trump's fine.
Hulk Hogan's fine.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, only in that instance. The other instances of him being a piece of shit, still a piece of shit.
Yeah. Although, again, fucking over other wrestlers isn't really a legal case, generally speaking.
Yeah. Anyway, so the thing to note is, and like the coalition and a lot of the right-leaning MPs have been copping a lot of flack from the left because trying to change 18C, but what they're trying to do is they're not trying to remove it, they're going to keep it in place, but they're going to remove offend and insult because they feel that those words can be easily misconstrued.
Offend, yes. I totally agree with it. People get offended for anything, for any reason. That's all in how they want to roll with it. Insult is an intentional act, though, and I think that should remain.
I know, but I think insult sort of gets covered by humiliate as well. Because if you're remember, this applies to a public forum. So if you insult someone in a public forum, you're basically humiliating them. So that's what the argument is there. I think this will do a bit to prevent people, I think, kind of just exploiting this as an act. Like, it's there for legitimate reasons. When Andrew Bolt was sued under it, it was because he intended to humiliate a group of people in a newspaper, and that's why it was successful. But in instances where it's like wishy-washy and had no reasonable chance of success or prospect of success, then gets kicked out, and then for the costs incurred for the other parties, you should be expected to
QUT is a public university, though, isn't
private.
Is it private? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I agree with the comment fighting segregation with segregation.
Yeah.
Because to a point.
It was apparently like an unmarked Indigenous-only computer lab. So that's, I don't know, separating people and then expecting them to be able to work together doesn't work. You need to do more to make people from smaller groups feel included in the larger group.
There are certain times and places for having the traditional definition of a safe space. Not this current horseshit that you generally find in the United States more than here a bit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not entirely against having a little separation to cool out. It's still rough being Indigenous sometimes in this country.
Yeah.
That said, generally speaking, fighting segregation with segregation is,
because even if you do it for some sort of proposed benefit of the other group, it's still giving them a sense of otherness.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't help anyone.
Yeah, no. Overall, you want to we want to get to a point where that's not necessary, and continuing to do it just to continue to do it because it's easier in the short run probably isn't a great idea. But,
yeah, appeasement was easier in the short run, and then we saw how that went. But but apparently the woman at the center of it, Miss Prior, she had like medical testimonies about her as well in the case.
Yeah, I somewhat recall this.
Yeah, and they ruled her, that she constantly
She's hysterical, like clinically hysterical.
Chronically blamed other people for her faults and that sort of thing, and makes things up to get attention. So
yeah.
So
maybe if you're going to have a separate room, maybe mark it properly. Although maybe they weren't marking it just because they were trying to not draw attention to it. I don't know.
Maybe, but anyway,
that whole thing's a bit.
All right, so moving on to the next one.
Hold on a second. I'm just going to close that door and then we'll. Is anyone standing up? I just want this door closed and I don't want to get up myself.
You lazy prick.
It's because I got a microphone and headphones in front of me. Sorry? Yeah, sure.
Who doesn't?
I've always wanted a lava lamp.
Oh, I should have just said get it, and
Now you've ruined it. Yep.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fuck you.
Classy.
Oh, yeah, you should hang out with me and my aunt in the same room for a long enough time. No, it's funny.
All right. So moving on to the next one, basically right-wing trigger warnings, emissions intensity scheme. Following discussions of a potential emissions intensity scheme in Parliament earlier in the week, the electricity industry has called for carbon pricing to be instituted to aid a transition into clean energy. This should take either the form of a blanket carbon pricing, as seen with the carbon tax under the Rudd-Gillard Labour governments,
Good luck.
or as an aforementioned EIS applying to just the power sector. Matthew Warren, chief executive of the Australian Energy Council, has stated that for the last decade, we've had ongoing policy uncertainty about an electricity industry push for a carbon price to aid transition to a clean energy system. And what that's meant is businesses trying to borrow and invest to rebuild and build the grid have been really constrained. After a decade, things are beginning to get critical, and we can no longer keep waiting to make the investments we need to keep the system working efficiently. South Australian Premier Jay Weatherill suggested a state-based emissions policy, but Mr. Warren said that would be unlikely to deliver the certainty that the nationwide industry needs. However, Prime Minister Turnbull has ruled out any carbon pricing or trading scheme at this stage.
Yeah, no, statewide, not going to work. My first note was just like, I don't think I can even care anymore. Just so we're clear, so the actual energy industry wants
carbon
to
pricing.
transfer to green energy, and they want carbon pricing to make it more efficient to
exactly,
transfer
because
over.
the way it worked under the Labour government is that they'd have to pay, of course, extra if they went over certain carbon amounts or for any sort of carbon pollution, but the funds that were taxed from that would go into investing into green energy sources. So essentially, they'd be paying their dues, but at the same time paying for the upgrades without any additional expenditure on top of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's just really funny to mention that, you know, the I think the energy minister, I think when he brought this up, the next day it was just like massive backlash from like all the coalition MPs. Like Cory Bernardi, I think, was quoted as saying it was like the stupidest thing that he's ever heard, but he obviously doesn't listen to anything that he says. So, I mean, as I said, right-wing trigger warnings. If you want to make someone in the coalition just absolutely lose their shit, there's two phrases you can say to them. Carbon tax and happy holidays.
Really? That's a problem here?
Apparently.
I didn't even know.
According to my mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're sick of this.
Yeah, I was like, all right, we'll just fuck it. We'll turn into holy terror and just, or for the more mass media, Coruscant, you know, just one big industrial city. Fuck it.
Just we are the industrial complex. Yeah. No, I still think it's really funny that however long it was ago that they were lobbying for, no, we don't want a carbon tax, no, we don't want this, we don't want that. Now the industry is like, oh shit, we kind of need this, we want this, please do it.
Yep, should have been on board to begin with.
Twirling towards policy.
Policy?
Or lack
I think you mean rhetoric.
All right.
When did that happen? Policy just stopped being policy and just became rhetoric.
It was around the time of the no-elition.
Well, yeah, that's pretty solid. That was when it definitely got crystallized.
Definitely, yeah.
No-elition being Tony Abbott's
opposition when Kevin Rudd first assumed government.
All he just said was no.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing this. He did what the Republicans did to Obama.
Mm-hmm. Just
stonewall to everything.
Every opportunity.
Except it's a little harder to do that in Australia. A little bit.
Yeah, especially when you have crossbenchers and shit.
Yeah.
All right, so Adler shotgun import ban lifted. At the Council of Australian Governments, or COAG, meeting on Friday, premiers and chief ministers...
Council of Australian Governments, it's just so...
It's not the parliament, it's like all the state governments.
Yeah, I know.
But sounds pretty...
It just sounds dumb. Weird and dumb and yeah.
So premiers and chief ministers made a decision to classify the Adler A110 as a Category D firearm, restricted
Kind
to
of.
only professional shooters under certain conditions if it holds over 5 rounds, and Category B if it holds up to 5 rounds, which is the typical norm. This move has angered national senators who order that the parliament isn't considering the interests of shooters. National Senator Bridget
No,
McKenzie
they're
has
not.
come out and said there is no rational common sense or evidence for Labour and Liberal premiers at the COAG meeting today to reclassify the Adler shotgun. This is based on emotion, on fear, with not a shred of evidence. As the Adler is a lever-action shotgun, it has been in limbo throughout the year in terms of its classification. As opponents of the ban or the Category D classification state, it should be exempt from that category, as it is not either a center-load or pump-action shotgun. So, just as a little
By the way, I can't click paper, Kyle.
the link
it's
was
a joke
there
that
for
won't
you
make
to
sense to
print.
anyone who's not sitting right here.
All right. So basically what the
Which I did.
Firearms Registry Act states is that a Category D firearm contains self-loading shotguns with a magazine capacity of more
Self-loading
than
is
5
essentially
rounds.
semi-auto.
Yeah. Or pump-action shotguns with a magazine capacity of more than 5 rounds.
Yes, more than 5 rounds. If they have 5 rounds or less, they're a Category B.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah, Category B.
Pump action is C. So this is a big pile of right-wing libertarian-style nut jobs. No one gives a shit.
What if I need to shoot exactly 7 pigs in 5 seconds, Sham?
Well, reload.
But I've only got 5 seconds to shoot them piggies.
Get better at reloading. You can reload really quick if you get good enough with any rifle.
No, I think it's really funny that Senator McKenzie was like, this is based on like no logic or just fear and all that, but the logic is consistent with the Firearms
It's completely
Act.
consistent. Like
Yeah.
a lever action essentially functions like a pump action
but
shotgun.
faster. It's like the max power way of shotguns.
Yes, it is. It can be a lot faster. Well, you can. It depends on the pump action of the shotgun,
Mhm.
how smooth it is. See, I like guns. I really do. I've been shooting. I lived in Texas for a bit. Guns are awesome. Guns are fucking. Oh, they're amazing. They're so fun. So fun and yet so scary. I've been shooting several. I've been. A few times. Never once have I held a gun and not been totally aware of what was in my hand and the potential of it. It's an incredible feeling. If you don't feel that, you're either extremely used to it or I'm worried or both. So I'm not anti-guns, but this is a lever action is essentially a pump action.
Mhm.
And not only is it getting the Category D rating, if it functions the same as a pump action shotgun, if it's got the 5 or less, it's actually in a category easier to acquire
so
than a pump action
You
shotgun.
can still get it just without the 7 rounds. If you want the 7 rounds, you need to be a professional shooter, and it's not recreational, not someone that goes down to the range every now and then. This is someone that is sponsored to compete in shooting, but someone that makes a professional income off of doing it.
To be honest, I don't really see the difference between 5 and 7 rounds.
It's not too much discrepancy.
It's personally, it doesn't make any real major sense. But so I didn't even know it was banned. I assume it was a temporary ban just while they figured this shit out.
Yeah, temporary ban while they figured it out. Because like first they were able to import it, then the government kind of did a review of it and was like, oh no, we'll ban this for now.
Yeah.
Anyone that still has it falls under a grace period where they're still allowed to have it, but no new owners until we can classify what we're actually going to do with this.
I don't know why lever actions weren't already in the legislation.
They're not so common anymore,
It
especially
doesn't
in
matter
Australia.
they exist.
Yeah, I know. So I guess it's just one of those oversights in legislature.
Yeah, it'll be fixed.
Yeah.
Another one of my notes is they've been complaining it's a Category D firearm, even though it's a Category B firearm.
Just
It's
depends.
only D if you want
2 more rounds.
proper sports shooting lever action. And my note is, whiny faggots being misleading.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yeah, pretty much. I
As
want my
always.
toy and I want it now.
Yeah,
And I want it
look,
like
it's
this.
fine. I'm pro gun ownership if you want. Like, you don't really need to.
Yeah, again, this doesn't prevent anyone owning it, just 5 rounds. 2 less rounds before you got to reload. Still have it. You can kill 5 pigs in 4 seconds.
Yeah, my biggest problem is the lying. Really, you're lying. You're conflating 2 points and coming to the conclusion that's more convenient of the two.
Yeah.
Lying sacks of shit.
All right, so speaking of lying sacks of shit, Pauline Hanson takes on Uber for destroying the Queensland taxi industry. Following a briefing with the taxi industry, Senator Hanson has vowed to seek a level playing field for taxi drivers. Hanson claims that what is happening is unfair, unjust, and needs to change. So this is in relation to Uber actually being legal in Queensland now.
Yep.
Hooray, flags waving,
Sweet.
victory cheers, best for the consumer. But the taxi industry is crying because they are shit.
This is like blaming everyone else by the Democrats for the Democrats running their most dog shit candidate ever.
Yeah.
3 weeks in a row, Hillary knock. Fuck you, whore. But yeah, no, it really is like that. It's like, this isn't fair. Well, maybe taxis should have been better and cheaper.
Yeah, well, because the taxi industry in Australia is pretty much a monopoly.
It is a monopoly.
Gold Coast cabs in the Gold Coast, yellow cabs, white cabs in the same bloody thing.
Queensland. Effectively, the pricing and financial structure of taxis, they're all essentially owned by Cab Charge, I think.
Yeah, because you lease the cab from Cab Charge. You can buy it outright or something like that. But you essentially lease it from them. It costs thousands of dollars per year. And basically the cabbies do slave labor for that. So
yes and no. There are savvy cab drivers who know when they want to run, when they don't want to run. Yeah. They sublease and share. And I was friends with one when I was doing security. He used to just drop by and talk shit at middle of the night when there was no one around and I had no customers, and he would just drop by.
Really? No customers at a strip club at midnight?
Weeknights.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, there was usually one or two, but weeknights were not fun. My phone you could tell how boring a night was by how quickly I ran out of battery on my phone. And then weeknights was a lot.
This is before power banks were a thing.
I started doing sketching and things while I was on the door, just I was upstairs, outside, well away from anything fun to draw. So I just drew my role-playing characters. Just fuck it. 6 foot.
It's the nerdiest thing you can do out the front of a strip club.
A 6 foot guy, undercut, Viking undercut, big beard, security bouncer at a strip club, just drawing his RPG characters and shit in the front door because he's bored.
But so taxi guy talk shit.
Yeah, no, he doesn't like Uber, obviously. He actually wanted to bring up a proper app that taxi drivers could use that was a lot like Uber.
Okay.
It's probably a good idea, but it still wouldn't be as cheap because they have to go through Cab Charge and all that.
Yeah. Well, because before I got my license, Steph and I got a lot of Ubers. Yeah. Sometimes it was the easiest way for me to get home on a Sunday night and shit. Man, a lot of Uber drivers are former taxi drivers. They're just man, fucking get out of this business. I'll do it from my own car where it costs less.
Yeah. And it's way better. My friend, he was a taxi driver. He was Indian, obviously. He disliked a lot of other taxi drivers. We'd be talking and then be a taxi driver parked in a non-taxi zone because there's a very popular outside of lefties. Taxi would just park there until the cops drove by and was like, boop, boop. Yeah, this isn't a taxi rank. There's one, fuck you, drive on. And he would, every time a taxi driver would do something stupid, in the street, he'd be like, "A fucking idiot, makes the rest of us look bad, blah, 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 blah." Yeah. It's just so he's aware, but at the same time, he's still pro-taxi.
This is because it's his industry, I guess.
I guess.
And you mentioned, a lot of taxi drivers that come over here, and Indian, Slavic, stuff like that. Man, I thought Pauline Hanson would hate them.
Oh, no, this is an easy win. Because Uber the company is it probably has some headquarters or organization here in Australia, but it's probably very small, and the bulk of it is in the United States, and that is still very small.
I thought Uber was run out of South Africa or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe. I would imagine it still probably has a reasonably large presence, a corporate presence in the US.
Oh, a corporate presence where it pays the least tax.
Yeah, probably in Delaware.
Ireland.
Oh, yeah. HQ. But generally speaking, Uber are a collection of individual people.
Yeah.
So backing the taxis, you've got an actual swath of people collected together. You say the taxi industry, you've got everyone in the taxi industry kissing up to the taxi industry.
Problem is not a lot of people like the taxi industry.
No, but the taxi industry likes the taxi industry, and she's appealing to them right now.
And the Cab Charge has money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is a smart move. There's There's no real downsides except for people who know better going, we know why the taxi industry stuff.
Yeah.
But she can spin it because they're hardworking.
Australians.
Well, because a lot of them, like you said, aren't Aussie, which means white in Australia. I fucking hate that. Even Sampy would be like, I'm half Filipino, half Aussie. I'm like, you mean white? You mean European? Okay.
Yeah.
I just hate that shit.
And
but
Australian.
Speak for yourself. It's a Deutsch. No, but this is all win for her. She's got the larger taxi industry on her side. She can say she's sticking up for fucking brown people now, without actually touching them or going near them or saying nice things about them, without actually saying it. So her racist right-wing
so she's firmly
supporters
got a 10-foot pole.
She's like, I'm supporting working class, and then she can sort of imply that, look, I'm not racist. I care about taxi drivers, whilst not saying it outright.
It's a very politician-y thing.
It's a savvy move.
Yeah, I mean, she's still a piece of shit.
She's still a piece of shit, but she's not as stupid. Or maybe her team.
Oh no, her party's tearing itself apart.
Her party, sure, but her team, like her actual
probably, yeah. She's
handlers.
probably got like a social media manager and shit that does like everything.
Yeah, no, this is actually a good move for her, and it's just dumb.
'Cause you'll never-
Uber in Queensland legally is a good thing. Legitimate
so
competition.
much cheaper.
Uber's not a great company either,
Yeah.
but it's better for consumers. Like Uber drivers get like 30%. It's something.
There's a base rate that they pay, and then it's like 40%. I think. I know a mate of mine at work does it just every other weekend because
why not? Yeah.
Why not? If he's got nothing to do, he doesn't have his kids. He's like, I'll do it. So it's great. Good way to make a little bit extra cash. Good way to meet women.
You should do it sometime. I'll just come with you. I'll be your security. So I can't take more than 3. Just in case you get shitheads. But no, it's a good move for Pauline Hanson, but Uber is good for the consumer.
All right. And our last point, this email message is only... Oh, wait.
Yeah. No, you missed the part where I can't think of a number one right now. I'll let you know if I think of something.
Yeah, I didn't think of something.
I'm just going to spitball international. By international, I mean US.
Why not?
Donald Trump has, within 24 hours, immediately reversed every extreme position he had after being elected. I'm going to completely dismantle and repeal Obamacare. I'm going to keep the good parts. Which is basically what Barack Obama said when when the bill got passed. It's like, this sucks. It's shit, but you're never going to get rid of it now. You're going to have to fix it.
Forces them to do something about it.
Yeah. It does suck, and it's not good, and it should have had a public option, and blah, blah, blah.
It still saves some people money, which is what it's all about.
It has been good for a lot of people,
Donald Trump has a good idea, because his thing is that he wants people to be able to buy medical insurance outside of state lines.
Yeah.
Is that the thing? And that will increase competition. Mm-hmm. That'll bring prices down. Now that there's a public option as well, if he keeps the good parts of Obamacare, this can be a boon for, the working class. Yeah,
he completely reversed on that almost entirely. He's like, Barack Obama, I'm talking to him, getting advice, blah, blah, blah. Backed up on everything. But at the same time, he's also now bringing in all the establishment Republicans into his candidacy. You're giggling because you know one of them isn't an establishment let's just do it because you're giggling. The Donald Trump Secretary of Small Business, the 2-time senatorial loser, Linda fucking McMahon, current and soon to be former CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment, Vince McMahon's wife.
The single largest donor to his campaign.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Plus, they're old buddies. Donald's been helping in business with Vince for a long time. The first 3 WrestleManias, I think, were all in Trump casino hotels.
Yeah. Apparently, Vince has been just a huge Trump guy ever since he first met Trump. They had a bit of a feud as well,
Yeah, a feud.
Trump took a stunner.
Him and Vince, I can't tell who takes a worse stunner.
Both really
They're shit
bad.
stunner buddies.
Linda McMahon's taken a stunner as well.
Stone Cold Steve Austin has the only person who's ever stunned a president of the United States.
That's
toughest SOB. Yeah. Greatest wrestler of all time, ladies and gentlemen. It's either him or Chris Jericho, or the Macho Man Randy Savage, maybe Ric Flair.
There's a little bit of competition there.
It's not Hulk Hogan or John Cena.
No, yeah. Apparently people love Linda McMahon. Or maybe they were forced to tweet their support for Linda McMahon.
2-time loser.
Yep.
Senatorial candidate.
But
loser.
even Cody Rhodes said, good for Linda, one of the nicest people I've ever met. So, and he doesn't have to do shit.
Yeah, no, he left.
He's fucked off to the Bullet Club now.
Really? He's in the Bullet Club? All right, I haven't caught up on that.
That was announced yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but he didn't leave because he fucking hated the company. He's just like, I need to get the fuck away from all this Stardust horse shit, and I gotta find myself, and I can't do it in this company. Unlike all the other guys who went to like TNA and shit, they're like, fuck WWE.
He hasn't burned that.
He's planning on coming back eventually. My idea for a top story, let's talk about Pizzagate.
Fuck.
Oh my god. Conspiracy theorists are fake news. That's America for you.
Yeah. Lean in a bit. Lean in a bit.
Come on. Come on in.
A little bit. If you're gonna talk, you're gonna talk into the mic a bit.
Threesome going.
This is Nick.
It was way more crazy.
Hello.
This is Nick from
Dr. Mumbles.
Dr. Mumbles. When did you get the PhD?
Well, I've been working on it for a while now.
You have. In mumbling, yeah.
I'd like to say that Nick's the toughest person in the room.
Really?
Hey, Sham, have you beat cancer?
Twice.
Yeah, no. He survived cancer. I beat it every fucking day. What cancer? You didn't even get in the front door.
Take
Good
that, cancer.
Good canner.
It's not mine. It's a Doug Stanhope joke. That's why it's so vicious. Pizzagate was... I think Pizzagate was obviously manufactured. I can totally believe there's a pedo ring in DC. Like, that's not even... like, I'd be surprised if there isn't, to be honest. But I think this entire thing was invented just so they could move on to the fake news story and start pushing that.
How, when it was like supported by one of the top Trump people, his name was visibly attached to that pizza story. And he's the one that kind of side was using fake news. Why would they want to see it focused on?
Because they want fake news. So this is all big conspiracy theory of mine. No, they moved on to pushing the fake news.
Just hurry up and become a flat earther already.
Fuck you.
All right, come on, InfoWars. Come on.
CNN was pushing the fake news.
Mm-hmm.
Fox was pushing the whole fake news. Everyone was talking about these fake news stories. And what are we going to do about the fake news, despite the fact that, mainstream cable news has been fucking fake as shit for like nearly 2 decades now. Fucking talking point bullshit. But
thanks, Tracy Grimshaw.
Now there's talk of bringing in legislation to get rid of fake news.
Oh, how the hell would they do
that? Yeah, no, it's going to be a complete violation of the First Amendment of the United States, and that's what I think this entire thing was for.
But aren't they already doing that already?
Oh yeah, they're doing all sorts of bullshit. This is just the rationale they use. It's like, saying Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. It's the rationale. It doesn't have to be true. If Pizzagate wasn't a plant story to get them talking about fake news, then they certainly took it and spun it real well. As I said to Kyle, they're creating context.
Of course, it's like they'd take it and spin it because it's like it's just such a bizarre story.
Yeah,
it's nearly fantastical.
It's one of those things. Like, what's that? Is it Colorado International Airport that has all those weird murals that people are like, oh, it's like Illuminati New World Order sort of thing? It seems like that times 1 billion.
To be fair, there is a lot of weird shit in that airport.
There's a lot of weird shit in lots of transport terminals. Fucking, what is it? Shibuya Station in Japan has some really creepy murals.
Yeah, but that's Japan.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's like Evangelion levels of shit, but yeah.
Well, they do have an Evangelion train, so...
It was cool.
When I read this, I just imagined it would be a great script for Black Mirror or something.
Yeah, I think someone took Pizzagate and ran with it to create a censorship law.
You're so far down the rabbit hole, mate.
No, man. Well, let's see. Barack Obama repealed habeas corpus so they can just throw people in jail without due process now. What more do you want?
And Trump's not going to be a change.
No, he's not. He's not.
I don't know why these people were saying that he was. That's all.
No, I'm just, we knew Hillary Clinton wasn't going to be. Trump was kind of a wild card. It was probably, not definitely.
He was just so wishy-washy. Every single president that gets in will just conform to their advisors and the system.
He's completely rolled over. He's now sort of a moderate centrist, do nothing.
Yeah, I was just going to
establishment
inflict the damage through his puppets through the cabinet, or who he elects, and they're probably just going to run the country.
Oh, yeah, did you see how he got like the dude from like Nexon Mobile to run Energy Council or something like that?
You got his Minister of Homeland Security is like now like, well, see, if we stop the war, it dishonors everyone who's died so far, so we need to kill more people to honor the dead people.
I mean, it's everywhere. Like with Freyden, with our environment minister, had that quick backflip. I think it was like 36 hours.
Oh,
How he did the backflip on putting the carbon
the emissions intent. We talked about that earlier. Yeah,
like, oh,
it triggered literally everyone in the coalition. Like Coy Bernardi, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Says the man who says the dumbest things anyone has ever heard.
I do love that. I do like that use of trigger. That did really.
It did. It's how you just go out to a member of a coalition. And go, what do you think about the carbon tax? And you just
coal money going good there.
Just pockets lined with Adani.
Yeah. Oh, that makes no sense. And the Queensland Labor government's just as bad for approving.
Yeah, it's because they're getting a cut. That's why they don't give a shit.
But everyone, I don't understand. Everyone has said, like, even India, like, India is saying it's not going to source much external, like, international coal anymore. It's going to look internal if it has to in 3 years.
Well, Adani is trying to move towards like green projects as well. This is going to be like their last sort of mine.
Yeah, they can't even get finance. It's just
answers are always clean coal. Clean coal.
Do you remember
clean coal?
Don't worry, we just take
clean
carbon
coal
out of it.
Do you remember when the coalition put out that
clean
ad?
Coal.
Or was it like the I don't know, it was something, but there's like it was basically like the how good is coal sort of ad. Oh, this little black rock, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's
coal is the future.
Coal is the future and not the millions of years past.
It's so good. We'll just go back to steam engines in every car.
But I love it when there's like some sort of controversy behind like a company, and then they put out like an ad for something trying to be all like, oh, aren't we cool? Look at this thing, buy our stuff.
We're sorry.
Sorry.
We're sorry.
Especially if it's on Facebook, because then you just look at the comments and it's all just people just fucking nailing it.
Never do that
like,
on Facebook.
Honey Burdette, have you heard about?
No.
Loosely
total abuse of like the workers, like denying them outside hours pay, like pretty much doing nothing to curb sexual harassment. And so I saw like an ad because a few people on my friends list like Honey Burdette, and it's like, oh, blah blah blah, people on your friends list like this. And I looked at the comments and it was people just like absolutely ragging them, just going nuts. And it's the same with Grilled as well, because they did the whole not paying people and not giving people their Cert 3s and traineeships. Just the comments is just like damage control.
If you're my main clientele, especially like even slightly hipster, you're gonna like you will want to stay away from that kind of stuff.
You want your clientele
don't use Facebook.
You want your clientele to be like old people, so the comments are just like, "Oh, Barbara, check this out," and they haven't even tagged them.
But yet they don't even know how to use Facebook.
That's how you're on it. Just it's all positive, but no one knows how to use a fucking computer.
If you want to like look at great comment sections, go to like the news.com.au news article sections.
No.
Holy shit!
No, I'll go to news.com.au if I can't find a better link for something. They do summarize things. They don't quite get all the depth of the story, but they will summarize it fairly well. So you can go here, just look at that. But no. Usually if I see a news.com.au link on Facebook, I'm like, keep scrolling. The Guardian, keep scrolling. AJ Plus, keep scrolling.
I usually stick to ABC and I only read half the article.
Yeah.
Because the first half is summarize, here's what happened. Last half is editorial, and I don't need that.
Yeah. The ABC's got a really weird setup on its website.
Yeah, it's a bit
because you go through and it's got like sports, all this other stuff, and then down the bottom, international.
Well, you want SBS for international.
Yeah,
that's what they're
ABC
for.
and SBS are my.
ABC are for domestic.
Mm-hmm. I at work I get heinously bored, and I just check the just in. I refresh that every few minutes, every 7 minutes, because the average length of a call is 7 minutes. So I just go through like that. That's what I was doing all Saturday when I was doing your show notes. I was take a call, talk to my mate, type the notes, get a call.
And you could still only find 4.
Oh, today was a shit week.
I'm sure there's plenty of horrible stuff you could find.
Yeah, but I don't want to get too bogged down. I want to be sassy.
Is that why you talk like a robot?
Robots are sassy?
Some of them, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
to be fair.
Their shifty fucking eyes.
Fucking Japanese
Dead
people. They're fucking robots.
No.
So you're hopeful for the Ghost in the Shell movie? I think that is a no.
Wow, we're really turning off now. Now we're into the entertainment section of the podcast.
We don't have
The stuff that Sham cuts off at the end and never sees the light of day.
Look, we've done two. We've done two, and I cut off that garbage because it wasn't fun to listen to. And I would know I'm the only one who's actually listened to our podcast.
Boo, Nick.
Nice diversion tactic.
Actually, I didn't even listen to the last episode. I made it. I listened to it while I edited it, and I was like, it's done.
It's fine.
Professionalism.
You sent Steph that clip of... She listened to it.
Of you being a robot?
No, of you saying, like, the best person to bring in to make fun of me would be Steph.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Because I just heard my voice suddenly coming from my computer and I was like, oh god, what's this? Phew.
I sent I sent her that and the one where you started we can't always be too serious on this podcast, and then me just losing it. I listened to that
as I said it in my really serious voice.
Yeah.
In my work voice. Thank you for calling Home Loan Services. You're speaking with Kyle. How can I help you today? Sure thing, I should be able to help you with that one. I just need your telephone banking password. That's okay if you don't remember it. There's a couple of security questions here. First question, what was the name of your first pet?
Stick to the script.
All right, and the second question is, what was the name of the first street that you lived on? Fantastic. All right, based on those details there, I have successfully identified you today. So how can I assist you with your home loan? Oh, no, sir. It turns out you're a fucking idiot. Fuck off. You're wasting my time.
Didn't we already identify who you work for, like, in the last two episodes?
Nope.
Just, okay.
I didn't even say...
Just the industry.
Feel free to call them and ask for Kyle and fuck with him.
You don't even know where I do my home loan services.
Call them all.
Because if someone says it right now, just to be clear, I'm not going to edit it out because I'm too lazy. If I catch it, it'll go. But I probably won't catch
That's
it.
why I haven't said it.
Yeah. That was Kyle with his impression of what he's like at work.
Fuck. I hate your radio voice.
Those clowns in Congress. What a bunch of clowns.
Looks like those clowns in Congress have done it again. What a bunch of clowns. How does he keep up?